I'm on TV. Welcome to a bit of company chat. Let's start the show.
Bit of company and a chat. A bit of company and a chat. Bit of company and a chat. What's better than that?
Hey camarado, you're tuned into a bit of company chat, and this is the one where we're not robots. Please join us in welcoming to the screen today's host, Chris.
Hello! How are we all doing on this fine evening? Welcome to episode 8 of A Bit of Company Chat. Can you believe we're already at episode 8? Absolute madness. This is the one where we are not robots, and it is unsurprisingly all about technology. So I am Chris Bot, as you couldn't tell. Chris Bot. And as you can tell, we have obviously spared no expense whatsoever with this beautiful costume design. I would say that we've done it professionally, but my mum did tell me to never lie. So we're not going to do that. So we're here broadcasting to all of you lovely people in what has been an incredibly crazy year, different from any other, and I would say unprecedented. However, it's probably the most overused word of the past year, and potentially a wonky word as well. But before more of my dad jokes take over, I should probably tell you a little bit more about why we're here. So you might be wondering what Camarados is, right? Well, Camarados is a global movement of people who believe that to get through tough times, we can do it better together. A camarado is a halfway between a stranger and a friend, and where people get alongside each other with no fixing and no agenda, just there. During the pandemic, we've teamed up with the awesome and legendary people over at People's Voice Media, who have been helping us to collect stories from people within the movement and without the movement, although everybody is a camarado to us, to find out about what their lived experiences are like throughout the pandemic. Before I introduce my amazing co-host, I just wanted to say a little shout out to James, who unfortunately will not be making it today as he's a bit unwell. Hope you feel better, mate, and hope to see you soon. So, before we get going, Leon, let's run that film.
Good morning, Camarado.
Good morning, Camarado.
How you doing?
Good.
People have that ability inside themselves to sort their own lives out, and I think what Camarados does, it gives people that human space to do that, and to do that together where everybody helps each other.
We are Camarados.
What an awesome film. I know I've said it before, but I do absolutely love it. It really does just encapsulate everything that Camarados is. So, yeah, absolutely awesome. So, this evening we are not only having a chat with my lovely co-host, but we also want you to be chatting to each other. We want you to get talking, getting alongside each other in the group chats, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, wherever you're watching. Just make sure you get involved. Let us know where you're from. Let us know what you're doing. Maybe even what you're eating. Who knows? But we also want to make sure that you start sending in your bit of actions early. So this is basically the thing that we want, or you want, to continue after the pandemic. As it is a technology theme today, maybe technology, but maybe not. Whatever you're feeling, whatever you think that we should be carrying on after the pandemic. So without further ado, let me introduce the very special and the legendary Pip Joel! Woo! Hello, mate.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. Manage your expectations, everyone. It's Pip. Sorry.
You did tell me to be a bit mean, but I couldn't do it, mate. You're just too lovely.
Go for it. Oh, no. I'm a piece of work. Really. Yes, I'm very happy that all it took was for someone to drop out to get an invite to come along. Isn't that fantastic?
Well, for those of you who don't know, Pip was the legendary host with Kat for our December series of Bit of Company Light. So he's a veteran of this. You know, I'm the rookie tonight, and he's the one who's taking control. So
you're doing fine work, Chris. Don't you worry.
Yeah. So, Pip, we're obviously talking a little bit of technology tonight, and I hear that you've got a little bit to talk about it. So let's kick it off.
I do. I mean, like, I am of the age group that did not grow up with a computer in the house. I think I owned my first one when I was probably your age, Chris. So it is sort of like it's not second nature to me, and I somehow managed up with getting a job where I had to teach people how to get online and connect easier with Zoom. I just had to teach myself how to use Zoom first, which was fun. But yeah, but not it's not just that technical side. It's that bit where they click on the video for the first time and engage for the first time and talk naturally for the first time, because it's such an alien thing just watching yourself talking to someone else. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I think it's something that it really kind of hit home that, you know, we suddenly got hit with this pandemic, and there were so many people that just were kind of caught a little bit blindsided, because technology is something that obviously is associated a little bit more with the younger generations. But in the situation that we found ourselves, you know, people really needed to kind of help level each other up and actually, level up. I don't know why I just said that. But thank you. But to actually kind of train. So what was it like? Did you have any like major difficulties? What were the things that kind of made it a little bit easier for you to learn, and things that you tell people?
Well, I mean, I was all right. I mean, I got on board with it quite quick, and I'm at the point now where just a standard voice phone call, I can't handle it, because I need to see the face I'm talking to now. I need to see how they're reacting. And this is just such a foreign thing. And I worked with this lady this last year who I adore to pieces. She never even had photos taken at her wedding. And now she spends more time in a week on Zoom than I do. And I love it a bit.
That's mental. Not even photos at a wedding. That's crazy. So what is it? So what is it that you've been doing mostly? So I hear that you may be hosting quite a few spoon rooms. So
okay, so full disclosure, I saw Camarado's spoon rooms, and we stole that idea wholesale, all the way up to like waving the little spoons around when we're doing it. But it's very different. Like I still come to the ones Camarado's host on a Wednesday and a Saturday, because the ones I do through work, I'm the host. I'm there to support them and make sure that they all get what they need to get out of it. But when I come to the Camarado's ones, it's like, it's my time. And if I've had a bad day or a bad week, I don't feel bad about saying it. I can just I can use that 3 minutes however I want to vent or rant or be stupid and jolly, depending on what mood I'm in, because that's my time. And that's the way the spoon rooms work. I mean, it's mine because it's made for everyone. Yeah.
Absolutely, mate. And I think there's something that's very special about talking to a stranger, and actually a lot of the time you feel that you can say a lot more. And I think that's something that's quite special, especially in this time, this crazy world that we're living in at the moment, that that prevents us from getting alongside each other, physically. So that's completely true. There was one thing that we were chatting about a little bit beforehand. We were saying about how it's so strange that you meet so many people, especially on Spoon Room, and you don't actually ever meet them in person.
It didn't dawn on me that I'd never actually seen you in 3D until like a few weeks ago. I was at a Camarada Spoon Room, and the host said, I've only met Pip and one other guy in this room. I was like, oh my God, I've never met any of these people. but I've been talking to these people on and off, and it doesn't register that I've never been in the same room with them.
I know it is absolutely crazy, and I think it really does speak mountains to technology and where we've actually been able to get to, in the fact that we can actually have a whole relationship and get to know somebody just completely online and completely virtually. Like, I mean, if you go back here to 20 years, even 10 years, it'd be almost, well, not unheard of because it'd be post, but you wouldn't ever see the face.
No. And my handwriting is bad. I don't think I'd have made as many pals. But it's given me some of the people that come to me that work with, they're quite vulnerable people, especially in the beginning. And for them, this has worked. Meeting online on these Zoom or whatever video calls have let them be able to do things that they wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. Yeah. They wouldn't have been able to walk through that door physically. Like I'm doing things. I got bullied into doing an improv course last year, and now I've just finished my third one, and I love it. Probably because I'm the funniest one in the room, and everyone.
No, absolutely, and I think there's definitely those. We were talking about it earlier on our episode 7 with the lovely Ali, all about how not only can it give people more accessibility and actually be able to get to those sort of courses and things that they couldn't do before, but also like there are certain things that actually work almost better over Zoom. I mean, like your improv course. What have you done one in person before, or is it only been online?
No, and I never would have agreed to it. I wouldn't have been able to go through that door.
Amazing.
I don't know. It's more daunting, but you've got your creature comforts around you. I mean, like I can turn the camera an inch that way or an inch that way, and you'll be just like amazed at the amount of debris that I'm surrounded with. I've just got this little box that I have to worry about, and that works. You don't know what I'm wearing under here, and who cares? I could be wearing a tutu.
It's amazing. On 3 of the shows, or no, 2 of the shows, we've had people standing up and showing their underneath. So let's not go down that road today.
Okay, all right. I will. I'm. Don't worry, there is stuff clothing me. I'm going to stand up. It's full Jeremy Kyle sweatpants joy.
Absolutely love it. Oh, amazing. Well, Pip, I think it's probably about time we jump to our next section. So, Leon, let's roll that title card.
Then we all go.
I've been feeling weird, I've been feeling like I've gone crazy. I've been feeling weird, I've been feeling like I've gone crazy. I've been feeling weird, I've been feeling like I've gone crazy.
Well, here we are. So we are on to Sally's words of wisdom. And man, I'm always excited for this one. And she always comes up with some pretty amazing tips. So
I hope she's in the tub again for this one.
I got a little sneak preview, but I don't think she is. Not this time. But let's do it. I think it's time that we get some words of wisdom. So Leon, roll that video.
Aunt Sally's words of wisdom. So today I'm going to talk to you about technology. At the moment I feel it's all Zoom and paperwork and it sometimes gets so overwhelming when you just are zoomed out. But actually I'm going to give you 5 reasons to really love technology and 5 reasons to get on the net and discover just what you can find. So here's suggestion number 1. You may think that all the museums across the land are closed, but many of them have gone online. Today, I found the Postal Museum, which takes you on an exciting journey of the hidden tunnels under London. It's absolutely fascinating. Google it. There are loads of museums you can still walk around from the comfort of your own home.
This unusual railway network connects 6 postal districts across central London from east to west.
In the 80s, we had our 60th anniversary. Along with that, we had a new brand and finally some new trains.
Why not try getting your friends and family together and doing an online Zoom quiz? They're absolutely hysterical. Or join Camarados and do a spoon room. You meet loads of new people from all over the world. It's absolutely amazing. Give it a go. This is the geography round. Question number 1. What's the capital of Iceland? Oh, Alan, look, This is only £99. They usually retail for about £2,000. Can I have it? Don't be fooled. If something looks too good to be true, it usually is. Don't part with your precious money on a hoax. Check it out. Make sure you check it out. So there's never a reason to be bored. You can do loads of free courses on the internet. You can even do the psychology of a superhero.
So what's it like to be Super Sally?
Sally to the rescue! When you've spent the day zooming and quizzing and looking around wonderful museums, it's time to come off social media and your computer and allow yourself some time before you go to bed, because you need a good night's sleep. Good night, see you in the morning. Aunt Sally's words of wisdom.
Oh yes,
Wise
Awesome.
lady. Words
She
to
is.
live by.
Have you ever fallen for an internet scam? Anything like that? Are you
I
too
thought you were
smart?
going to ask if I'd fallen for a catfish, and the answer is yes, obviously, over and over again. Too good to be true.
So we'll have to point. I think I'm having some slight internet problems. We seem to be holding it together just about. So I'm very
Don't
sorry.
leave
about
me on my own.
No, I'll do my best not to, Pip. I promise. I'll stay here for you, but be alongside. So that's awesome. So thank you so much, Sally. We really appreciate it. And once again, some really great words of wisdom. So we're moving on to our next segment now. So Leon, roll that title card.
Help me explore just how much I love him and how important he is to me.
Gorgeous.
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 This is like him. That was weird.
I was gonna say. I wonder if people will be putting two and two together. I think maybe we should just leave this one just dangling in ether, just to see if people pick up on it.
I'm not saying nothing about it, Chris. I don't know nothing.
Honestly, they are the best thing to come out of 2021. I know it's early, but it's just fantastic.
It is, I will say they do sort of, I think they're encouraging like a personality disorder in their handler. Seaweed especially seems to make them a bit more naughty than normal.
Rascals, absolute rascals. So we are moving on to the part of the show which is all about the stories from people around the movement. So we've had some amazing, lovely camarados who've been telling us all about their experiences, and we've picked out some that are particular or specific to technology. So without further ado, I think we should jump into it because I'm really excited. This is always my favorite part, is hearing people's stories. So Leon, roll that video.
Most of my work now is done through Zoom or Teams, and basically, and also through online, what do we call it? Email and document passing. So really, it's not face to. Obviously, I'd love to go face to face, but I can't, which is blooming annoying. So really, I've just adapted to using technology where appropriate. I mean, it's there, use it. So when it works.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer face-to-face or online?
A bit of both. Sometimes you get meetingitis. In other words, oh God, not another one. But then again, you sit through it and you think, right, okay.
And then actually, weirdly, there's been positive outcomes. And so I teach at a university, and I have been offered work at other universities, which I wouldn't have been able to do if there was in-class teaching, but because it's online teaching, suddenly people were offering me work, and I went, oh, I can do that. So actually, I've been doing more work than I would have been able to otherwise. And in a very, very selfish way, a bit of me hopes lockdown carries on, because that means next semester I'll get offered teaching again and I can do it from here.
Right.
Whereas if the continent opens up again, and if you're going to teach in a British university, you need to be in Britain.
Oh,
I can relate.
It's lovely. Although I feel like this might be the part of the show where we start to realise that we were steering some of the stories towards university students. So
I am past student age.
Yeah.
I am a 20-year veteran of dropping out of university.
Well, it's all right, mate. Don't worry, because there's plenty more to talk about. I think the one thing I really picked out from it, and the word I love, is meeting-itis. Now that one.
Yeah, I wrote it down while we were watching it. Yeah. I spend my life in Zoom meetings. It's crazy. I think for the hours I'm paid, more than half of it is meetings. That's mad.
Well, it's an interesting thing, mate, because especially with camaradas, we find it's quite difficult because you're not around each other as you normally would be. You don't have those just casual conversations that you would, if you're in the workplace. So it's actually kind of like what's massively important that people do find time to not only have the meetings and talk about each other and communicate everything effectively, but also as well to have that kind of like informal chat and, that time to actually just talk to each other. I mean, do you guys often do that with you?
Occasionally. I mean, like all these sort of, it's all compartmentalized. So you have a meeting with one group about something, then a meeting with another group about something, and then there's this sort of like, you may as well have a paper cup with a string from one meeting to the next, trying to work out what was said here and then what was said here, and eventually no one knows where they're going.
I just love the thought of a cup and a string.
Yeah. And I think the answer to my question was going in circles. Yeah.
But I think we might
have the beast.
Sorry, Pip,
It's the nature of the beast, unfortunately, but
is that it is. And I think Zoom is amazing, but I think as well staring at screens sometimes can get a bit wearing on the old eyes. But I think the other thing that I picked out from those stories as well, Pip, is that it's amazing how different everybody's experiences. And I mean, this might be a little bit too obvious, but it is amazing how different everyone has, what experience they've led. I mean, for that chap over who was talking about university teaching, for him, other than being locked down and everything like that, it sounds like a pretty positive thing. While for others, they've had a tough time.
Same. I mean, like a lot of my current role was made in response to COVID, and how we would deal with it and how we would reach and connect people via a screen. And when all of this is done and dusted and gone, we're planning on keeping the tech side of it now. I mean, this sort of thing, this Zoom culture has allowed people to access the service I work for more often than they could before in person, whereas they would only have 1 week where they could come to us. Now they can just click a button and they can come up to 6 days a week. Yeah,
it's amazing, and the fact that you can do that is fantastic. No, it's really quite amazing, and I mean that's why I guess we love hearing from people directly, because
where's Chris gone? That's not on the script. Oh dear. I hope he comes back soon, because I'm going to be lost without him, because he's running this rodeo, everyone.
Hey, Birdie.
Oh, hey, Cat. Hey, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Oh, what's that you're wearing? What? It's a badge. It's a badge.
It's a new badge.
What's it say? Ooh, the letter C.
It's the letter C.
The letter C.
The letter C.
The letter C. The letter C. Letter C. What's it for? C? C for cat.
C for cat, but also C for camarado.
Camel what now?
Camarado.
Camahuna?
Camarado.
You want it?
Camarado. Say it with me. Cam.
Cam.
R.
Oh.
Do.
Camarado?
Camarado.
Camarado! Oh, yeah, Camarado. I knew that. What's that mean? What's a cam...
A camarado, it means that we look out for each other.
Who we looking for?
You're going to look out for me.
I'll look out for you.
I'll look out for you.
You look out for me. Really?
And you look out for me.
We look out for each other.
Yeah, we'll look out for each other. That's what being a camarado means. Yeah.
Wow! I want to be a camarado too.
Yeah, we're camarados.
Camarados. Camarados.
Hey, well, it looks like I'm flying solo now, which is really worrying because Chris was supposed to be the host. But what we are going to talk about is wonky words. And well, I've got some personal pet peeves amongst them. When we heard the stories earlier, that chat mentioned Microsoft Teams, which I think was created by Satan himself. Either that or created by the guy who made MailChimp, which is also the bane of my life. In terms of wonky words, I don't even know what half of them mean because it's not part of my vocabulary, and I hear them and I just immediately zone out. So I don't know what is a deliberative democracy. Not a clue, but it sounds wonky already. I think we've got some bit of actions coming up as well. I will tell you one thing that in terms, I don't think it's really a wonky word that applies to everyone watching, but the bane of my life is also branding. I spent more time talking about the fonts than what the actual words are and the meaning are and what we're putting out there to people. And it is really a head scratcher to me how one thing so trivial like that can be a priority over the other. I think, sorry, I'm flapping a little bit now. What have we got? Bit of action. Make the tech work for people and not the people work for tech. I think that's pretty wise words. And it's kind of what like the struggle I've had over like the past 12 months is explaining the idiocies of an app or a website, or, you know, why it's so difficult to get this link or work out how to do this or get you to this place. So, not fun. I think
I'm also sort of just realized that how much stressed actually I've been through the period, which I wasn't aware of.
Hello. Hi. We are back, baby. Yeah. Camarados are letting us back out to play for a bit of company chat. Can I come play too? Hey, sure.
Well, I might know not very much about wonky words, but I do know something about puppets, especially these puppets. I've met them personally. Poor hygiene, bad table manners, generally unpleasant to be around, but they do make some quite entertaining videos. So I think we're going to have one of them in a minute if Leon wants to play that film.
Ooh, look at this. I'm on the television. I'm on TV. Ooh, damn.
It felt pretty depressing. I've written very little creatively over this period, even though I've had the time and, in theory, you know, the time to sit down and do it. But I just don't. I just feel like my brain is just a fog, and I just can't process things.
that was terrifying. Oh no! What the hell are you doing here? I didn't sign up for this. I signed up for Chris.
I know, I'm sorry, but you've got me. I've not even been ready to do this. I was watching and I
Show's
thought,
over, folks. Oh my God. I don't see enough of this woman in my week.
I know, but I couldn't watch it with all the tech that's going wrong tonight and not jump on. So I messaged and I'm here.
I was handling it, FYI, but thanks anyway.
I don't know what we're going to talk about now.
We could talk about The Shining, which that terrifying clip was based off of, which everyone on the earth has seen because it's such a famous, iconic landmark of cinema by the late, great Stanley Kubrick. Well,
interestingly, I suppose because I didn't grow up with any tech, I haven't ever seen that, as you know. And I'm a bit behind when it comes to films. And,
I suppose in terms of tech disasters, your disaster is the fact that you were raised in a cultural vacuum.
Thank you. Well, we grew up without a telly, which I suppose would be an odd thing for lots of people to hear. And then
I was
the
raised
first telly
by the TV.
You were raised by the Yeah, no. And then oddly, the first telly we got was a black and white one. I don't know why I'm telling you all this now. I'm trying to think of a tech story desperately, so I'm clinging to anything. But it was a black and white one. Yet I apparently would still talk about the colours that I could see.
I can't.
So
really
I think that makes me pretty special.
Of any specific tech nightmares I've had, other than some of the people I've met on Grindr, but I think that's a story for another day, don't you?
I think that is most definitely a story. I like what you've done now that I've suddenly arrived. The thing is, though, I can't.
You do lower the tone wherever you go.
I've joined from my phone, and so I can't see any of the chat. So I'm hoping that this is working.
I've got a question which says, what films have you watched, Catherine, beyond Harry Potter? And I guess we'll never know. Yeah. Is it something I said? Have I done this? Nobody wants to hang out with me anymore. There's Chris, thank God.
I am so sorry.
No, that's cool, man. Technical difficulties.
Yes, and rather ironically.
Do you know what the worst 3 words in the English language have been this last 6 weeks? Please stand by. At the end of every episode of WandaVision, I'm sorry to be geeky, but I just want to scream every time I see that at the end of the episode. It's like, what? That's it, nothing else.
Oh no, I think I've still got some internet issues. I'm really sorry, Pip. Definitely sorry about this. So I think that our time may have come to an end, even if it was very short and filled with technical difficulties.
Yeah, I am loving the irony, though. The episode you want to talk about tech, and everything goes horribly wrong. It's fantastic.
It's so difficult. For the past 3 months, I've been working with what I thought was bad internet, and then moving to a new house, new digs, and even worse. It's not good. It's not a good sign.
Yeah.
We seem to be doing it.
We do the best with the things we're given, and
exactly.
Whether that's technology, whether that's anything in our lives, I think make the best of it. And remember, wise words, it's okay to fail.
Yes, most certainly. It definitely is. We're certainly okay to fail, especially
right now. We're all a bit exclamation mark, hashtag, @symbol, £, sometimes.
Sometimes we're all a little bit pants. A not so happy day when things don't go our way. And in between the rubber, the green, the roll of the dice, the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes, almost all the time, we're all a little bit pants. A tad under par, but that's who we are. And even finding rhymes is harder than you'd think. Sometimes we're all a little bit pants. A a not so happy day when things don't go our way. And in between the rubber, the green, the roll of the dice, the way the cookie crumbles. Some